Okay, so today I'm going to take you through making a section, which is partially we went through this in class and I just want to finish it off. So I'll start with the changing of the UCS. So sometimes when we're drawing, we want to draw something that is perpendicular to a line that's on an angle. And one way to allow us to do this without changing the 0, 0 point is to use the command called UCS. So to start this, I type in UCS. UCS comes up at the bottom there. And then what I want to do is I need an object-based UCS. So I'm selecting object, then I'm travelling around on this line, and as you can see, my UCS icon is moving from the bottom end to the top end. What I would like is for that up here, for this up here to be my UCS, so I click up at this end of the section line. Then I type in, but obviously I don't want to draw, have to draw my lines on an angle. So then I type in the word plan into my command line. So it's just plan into the command line, enter, and it says current UCS, UCS on world. And I want the plan to look like it's in the current UCS. So I select current. And what that looks like is that my plan has rotated and my section lines are now straight. Now the plan isn't really rotated, it's just that I've rotated the view of the plan. Okay, so what I've done down here is I've copied this line down, so just by typing CP, I've copied it from this endpoint here down to here. So this will represent our section. So what I need to do is work out what this first intersection line is. And because there are no contour numbers around here, I have to go on the fact that this is the 0 line at the edge of the water, and there's a ½ metre here. So we've gone 0, half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. So this first line that I want to draw where the 7.5 intersects the section line, I'm going to take it all the way down here, but I'm going to give myself a little reminder at the 7.5 line. So that's where that one starts. Now to keep going with this, all I do is type in CP, and I want to copy this line from this endpoint to the intersection lines of all of the contour lines. So I just keep moving along this plan while I'm doing that. Moving along the contour lines, picking up every intersection line, picking it up, pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up. ½ metre and then the 0 line. Same thing over here. ½ metre and the 0 line are right next to each other. We'll actually do both of those because they make a difference to the levels. And then we've got the 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. Now the 2.5, because the 2.5 is there, and there, I'm just going to stop there because these three are a little bit special. So I can select them and then I can move down here, and then I want to find the 2.5 line. Moving on there. I'm actually going to trim those three. The 2.5. So I'm going to trim, select that, and select all of those 2.5s because I don't want to keep going up the hill. I'm just going to make sure that that is the 2.5 by going back over here, which of course it's not, it's actually the 3. And in actual fact, probably the best way to do this is to just change the colour of these lines so that it's a bit clearer. So I've can do that by going through the properties and changing the colour of those to green or something, doesn't really matter. So as you can see, this would be the 2, the 2.5 just there. So I'm going to have to extend these back down. Extend, EX for extend. Okay, so I know that I've got those, and I can keep going straight up the hill, which is fine. So I'm going to keep copying through the intersection line. 3, 3.5, 4, yada yada, all the way up. You can of course pick up the path lines and everything else, where the building is. I'm just going to go to there because that's enough. There's those, what do we have, 1, 2, 3 passes through the 2.5 contour. So just going back up here to check. Yes, that's the 2.5 contour. So then I want the 3. So 3 times. So then I can just, what I can now do is just pick up the intersection lines of these contours. So that was the 0, that's the 0.5. The next one is the 1, the 1.5, and the 2. Here is the 2.5, and we've got 3 clicks through the 2.5. And then we start going up again. Just clicking through those intersection lines, the ½ metre contour lines. Up here. Up it goes. Now what I want to do, because I want to hatch this object, what I'm going to do is actually just go down to the perpendicular of this line and make this a closed polyline, doing that line down there, coming back to here and typing CL for close. And what that's done is it's made a closed polyline. If I copied that down here, it's an actual shape, and that's what I want. I want an actual shape. I need to do the same thing over here. So I take the 7.5, oops, and then I just click through the intersection points all the way down the embankment. Here we are, nearly at the bottom of the embankment, and I want to make a shape out of this one as well. So I'm going to continue to there, and then I'm going to type CL to close, so that I've got a shape. You can see that shape when I've copied it. Alright, so that means these lines here, they can all now be deleted, because they have done their job. And what I'm left with is the basis for a section. Now, going back into World UCS, because I want to now insert some, I want to do some inserting of some blocks. But whenever I insert blocks, I really want to be in UCS World. So I've typed in UCS, enter, typed in W, enter. I don't need to change the plan, it knows it's in World UCS. I could if I wanted to, but I'm not going to because I want to go back to my section UCS very soon. Now I'm going to go into the insert and I'm going to go to block. What you will need to do is you'll need to go to the LMS and go to the AutoCAD file or the weeks 7 and 8, and you'll need to browse to find these blocks. All of these blocks are loaded onto the LMS, so you'll need to download them and save them into a file. These are already actually in here. That's right. Try it again. So building section. It's going to ask me where I want to put it. I'm going to say I don't want to specify it on screen, I just want to see where it comes in. Don't worry about that, you won't get that message. And there it is, it's come in over there. I want to move that building so that the floor level is at 5. So we know this is the 2, this is the 4. So the floor level should be at 2, 4, 5, round about there. Now I can find the actual location for that building by going UCS, and it'll let me do previous. So I can just go previous, and then I can do a line down from the edge of that building with my ortho on, and that will tell me where to place my building. Which is there. I know my building is now in the right place. I can go on like this, and I can keep inserting blocks. I can insert a tree. Sorry. I'm going to actually specify the insertion point on screen for that one because it's gone to the 0, 0 point. So if your block disappears, it's probably because you haven't specified a 0, 0 point. I'm going to put a person in here. I'm going to specify the insertion point on screen, and so on. So you start to get a bunch of people and buildings and stuff in there. Now the important reason for making these closed polylines is because I can also now hatch them. So if I was to type in the command hatch, or the word hatch will come up. What I can do is add these objects, so I can hatch these 2 objects. And what I want is to select solid. I can go preview to see whether they really will come up as solid, and yes, my polylines are closed, so they are solid. I probably don't want them to be black, so I'm going to select them, and in my properties I'm going to go and change their colour. I'm going to select a colour because I'm going to use a true colour. Use a colour book. I can make them pink, or I can make them grey, or whatever. And while I'm there and they're still selected, I'm just going to go DR for draw order, and I'm going to send them to the back. And then we're getting a reasonable looking section. Now if I go to my 3rd paper tab layout, I can see that my sections are appearing in there. These viewports are not locked, so I can move these around so that they're in a more sort of reasonable position. But they are currently at 1 to 200 and 1 to 500, which you will need to label. So then you can print them just the same way as you printed your plans, and that should help you.